Hello everybody and welcome to another video, and this is going to be a spicy one because I'm not going to be very nice. So, Steamforged Games are at it again. They're about to kill another game. That is right, Steamforged Games made an announcement yesterday. I kind of got it when I was coming home from work this morning, that they've basically made an announcement that they've acquired the rights to Warmachine. Now let's jump over and have a little look at the announcement, and then we'll go in and kind of explain why this is the death of Warmachine, but not straight away. So, welcome to the Iron Kingdoms. We've got important news to share to you all here at Steamforged. We were beyond excited to announce we've acquired the incredible Iron Kingdoms universe from our friends at Privateer Press. Privateer Press have been pretty much having a pretty hard time lately, ever since they kind of come out with, I believe, 4th edition of Warmachine. They've kind of screwed everything up and it kind of went bad, which is a real shame because some of the models for Warmachine are absolutely beautiful. But yeah, I've got no faith that Steamforged are going to do anything great with this, and we're going to go into that in a minute. This includes the award-winning miniatures fantasy game Warmachine, the hobby, the painting line, the Formula P3 paints. Now, I do remember Steamforged doing their own paints during the time of Guild Ball. And in fact, they even had Meg Maples. You may remember her and her feminist rants about why over-sexualized miniatures are bad, even though she painted them herself. And they were testing it, but they never come out anywhere. So now they've got a painting line made by P3. Some of the P3 paints were actually quite good. The Iron Kingdoms roleplay series, wow, that's a lot of stuff they've acquired. And basically all of this. They haven't mentioned Hordes, but they do show the Hordes button here, which is kind of good because Hordes is kind of cool. So for the past 20 years, the Iron Kingdoms and Warmachine have enchanted players and hobbies around the world with rich lore and immense gameplay. Warmachine's growth that has been electric since the launch of Mark IV. I wouldn't really say it was electric. It kind of is. Mark IV is the reason why Privateer Press is pretty much in the position they are now, because it kind of killed the game. With new and returning players around the world getting into the game. That's a bit of a stretch. It's the reason why they've just sold the IP to you idiots. Now, as we step into the new chapter, Steamforged and Privateer Press are teaming up to make sure your experience in these games is better than ever. So good, in fact, that this is probably a precursor to when the game fails, and it probably will under Steamforged, they will then blame the players, just like Guild Ball. There have been a better time to start playing. Go away. Going forward, we're going to work together on the design and development of the lines. We at Steamforged will be bringing out a proven 10-year track record of creating, developing, and delivering large-scale games to thousands of players and retailers around the world to turn that growth into explosive. They are a Kickstarter company, okay? That's what they are. They're basically the UK version of Cool Mini or Not. They also had a really good game, one of the best tabletop skirmish games on the market that pretty much taken on things like Blood Bowl and Mantic's sports game and kicked the crap out of them. And that was called Guild Ball. And they killed that game because, I quote, the players made it too competitive. Now they've got an ultra-competitive game like Warmachine. Yeah, like... whatever. So, from Rick Loxham, the man who decided to tell pundits they weren't allowed to sell items that they paid for with their own money and would punish said pundits, people who gave up their free time to demo and promote their products and buy prize support for their events themselves, would be removed from the pundit program if they sold miniatures from the prize packs that were not being used. This is the mentality of this man. I myself was removed from the pundit program for calling him out on that idiocy. And yeah, you know, I got an email from the community manager later that day, basically been telling me I'd been removed from the program because I said you can't do that. So let's hear what the mystical words of Rick Loxham has to be said. Our CEO and founder, this is a perfect logical fit for us. Almost every aspect of Steamforged history can be traced back to Warmachine. Basically, they use Warmachine as a foundation for Guild Ball. That's basically what that comes from. They have nothing to do with Warmachine or Privateer Press outside of that. They played a lot of tournaments, they were relatively good at it, and they kind of created their own game using Warmachine as a foundation and building upon it into a game which ultimately turned into Guild Ball. So yeah, that's kind of what that is. Both Matt and I are Warmachine players, and Warmachine was actually a key inspiration for us creating the game. They used a lot of the mechanics, the damage tables, and everything else from directly out of Warmachine, which is kind of cool. With its incredible world and well-designed gameplay, we wouldn't be more excited to bring our experience and infrastructure to be able to take on Warmachine into a new era. Basically, this is code for we are going to cash grab the crap out of this with unlimited Kickstarters and milk this for all it's worth until we forget about it like God tier. And Guild Ball. And bear in mind, we'll go into Guild Ball in a little bit more in a minute. From Matt Hart, our CEO and co-founder, there's a real wealth of creative talent and, as we might expect, genuine passion for tabletop gaming in our team. Just not... yeah, whatever. In particular, we share a kind of special love for Warmachine and the Iron Kingdoms, because it's pretty much where you are now because of it. Along with our expertise in creating games, I wouldn't really say that, makes us ideally placed in collaborating with... see, they're saying they're collaborating. So have they got the IP or have they not got the IP? What's going on here? In shape the future of hugely important franchises. There's a profound sense of duty in nature and growth and potential, and we take that responsibility seriously. We cannot wait for what is to come for both players in this wonderful world. Yeah, I can tell you what's coming. Lots and lots of Kickstarters. Lots of Kickstarters, people. You're going to be kickstarted to death. And from the Matt Wilson, CCO, founder of Privateer Press, we couldn't have asked for better custodians than Steamforged. Their track record, delivering games late, underperforming, lots of issues, rules problems, killing off their main game because it got, I quote, too competitive, completely forgetting about the game that they replaced it with. Oh, poor God tier. History with games, genuine excitement about the future and making them the perfect fit to shepherd Warmachine the Iron Kingdoms into the future and opening up new opportunities, growth channels for all Iron Kings titles. Yeah, I'm just going to have a challenge for you now, yeah? Go to your local hobby store, right? You know, the ones that like stock multiple games, and look for any Steamforged games on the thing. Now, if they have a board game section, you'll probably find things like Dark Souls and their board games that they've done along that list. I think the Event Horizon, is it Event Horizon? Horizon Dawn, maybe the Resident Evil game and stuff like that. The big Kickstarters that they've done over the past few years. But go and try to find God tier. I dare you. Right, because my local hobby stores who stock their board games don't have any God tier. And that is their miniature game. Yeah, so that's the growth channels that Iron Kingdoms is going to be expecting. We look forward to working with Steamforged in the years to come. I'm sure that will bite you in the arse in a few years' time. So let's have a little look what they're going to do. As we bring fantastic games into Steamforge's family, we're committed to keeping you informed, and here's what you'll need to know. Join our community, the Warmachine Facebook group, website orders. We're transitioning the range to our website as we speak, and orders will reopen later this week. Right now, due to the scale of the transition, our main focus is Warmachine and the Iron Kingdoms RPG line. More information on the Privateers Press, Warcaster, Riot Quest, and others will follow later. Not a word about Hordes, the game that literally partners Warmachine. Nothing. Like, they should be the two games that you should be putting on the shelf straight away. Warmachine and Hordes. They literally work side by side. Existing orders, although there will be some delay with things as things are stabilized, Steamforged are renowned for delays. Any orders placed with Privateer Press will be honored and dispatched, so no need to worry. Everything will be delivered as promised. Guild Ball. And they've mentioned God tier, look. Oh, that's cute. Our plans for Guild Ball and God Tier remained unchanged. What's the plan with God Tier? Because you've not mentioned it. For Guild Ball, we'll continue working with the GBCP. Basically, this is the community team, right? So the problem with this is, okay, this is a Kickstarter company that on their 10-year anniversary of the game and the company basically went, here's an STL free downloadable starter set. That's it. Like, this is a game that they care so much about that they didn't think about going, here's a Kickstarter with the two teams that the community, the GBCP created. I think that was the Lumberjacks and the Lamplighters. Here's a Kickstarter with those two teams created officially by Steamforged, and here's a new starter box featuring those two teams, and here's a big Kickstarter and all of the good stuff that we can throw in. Instead, they keep talking about building up trust, because remember, they destroyed that when they killed the game and blamed it on the players. And yeah, they've done nothing, basically. It's been one of the weirdest relaunches of a game. In fact, in my video about this, I praised Games Workshop in how to bring back a game in with Old World, even though the Old World launch was terribly done because they understocked it. If you want to see a game coming back in a really good way, look at Mantic and the All-Out War with The Walking Dead. Absolutely perfect with how they've rolled that game out, and that's how you bring back a game that was discontinued. So not how they're doing this. But I digress. Regular posting updates, yep. Supporting community events with recently announced prize support. If you have a 3D printer, you get prize support. If you don't have a 3D printer, you don't get prize support. That's basically it. So if you don't do 3D printing, Guild Ball is not the game for you unless you can buy expensive, overpriced secondhand miniatures on the secondhand market. It's just as simple as that. Or you're going to have to get into 3D printing. And stay active in the Discord. Models will still be available order, and the starter sets will remain free to download. For God Tier, we recently started a hint at the new champion to join the lineup. Did you spot it? Wow, a new champion for the game that they've all but forgotten about. Wow. So let's put it this way, peeps. If you're a God Tier player, with this announcement, don't expect anything major anytime soon, because your game is as dead as Guild Ball is. The only reason that you'll keep going is the community around that game will keep it alive, regardless of what Steamforged do, just like they did with Guild Ball. Our hopes that Warmachine joining the family will further strengthen the growth of SFG miniature gaming community, giving gamers either side of reason to jump in and give the other a try. Not really, because like I said, you don't see Guild Ball on a shelf in your local hobby store because it's 3D printing only, and you don't see God Tier. Those games are literally dead in the water, unless you're online, and most people, not really. I haven't seen a game of Guild Ball played in many years, and I haven't seen any games of God Tier played. Cons and events. We're still running our scheduled Gen Con events of Warmachine and Warcast, so be sure to sign up if you're already there. And next update, we've got an update on the 6th of June. This will be a big chance for some and a little bit of mystery to others. So what we'll take on this journey with us, sharing behind the scenes and lighting the go. And then obviously, they have to end it, the Kickstarter launch. So of course, a Kickstarter company are going to milk this as for all it's worth with as many Kickstarters as they can. So, the Iron Kingdoms RPG Kickstarter for Starlight Workshop will launch at the end of this month. More news to come. In the meantime, we're here to answer any questions you might have. And for us in the Discords, where you can find all the channels, and if you're new to the Iron Kingdoms, there's no better time than take this incredible ride. I can guarantee you now they are working on a huge Kickstarter for Warmachine and Hordes. Guaranteed. This will be a Kickstarter like you've never seen before, and they are going to milk this for everything it's worth. So yeah, that is the announcement. Steamforged Games are about to kill another game, but not before they've milked the crap out of it first. Am I surprised about this? It's in a way I'm kind of happy that somebody has come in and helped Privateer Press, because, you know, Warmachine's been around for, 20-odd years, so it'd be kind of nice to see it not die a death. It's just a shame that no one ever did that with things like Rackham and Confrontation, because that was a game worthy of saving. Would I have preferred somebody else? Yes. I don't trust Steamforged. I don't trust Rick Loxham or Matt heart to actually deliver on anything that they say. Maybe it's because I'm a jaded Guild Ball player who really did not like how they handled the end of Guild Ball. I don't trust them as a company. They've repeatedly lied to their fan base and their customer base, and I have no time for this whatsoever. I do feel sorry if you are a Warmachine player to now have to be stuck with their antics, and you are going to get milked. There's no other way around that. You are going to get milked with so many Kickstarters, it's going to be untrue. Because this is a company that is just Kickstarter. They don't do anything straight to retail. They don't do anything that is made, put in pre-order, and then going to retail. Everything they do is through Kickstarter. So expect Kickstarter after Kickstarter after Kickstarter after Kickstarter. Now, you know, some people might be watching this and be like, oh, that's really a negative video. And when it comes to Steamforged, 100%. A lot of people bash on Games Workshop for the most trivial of things, but at least Games Workshop are relatively honest. Like, they've kind of said that Warhammer Fantasy Battle wasn't performing, and that's the reason why they killed it. They didn't turn around and go, Warhammer Fantasy Battle is getting discontinued because all of you Muppets are making the game far too competitive, which is basically what the Steamforged did with Guild Ball. They literally blamed the player base because they couldn't balance the game themselves, because they designed the game in such a way that they couldn't get themselves out of that. Rather than turning around and going, we're going to do a literal hard reset. We're going to relaunch the game with a brand new edition, and we're going to completely re-overhaul the game from top to bottom, and we're going to do a hard reset with everything is going to be rebuilt. And we're going to restart from this edition is literally going to be a reset. Games Workshop have done it with 40k and Age of Sigmar. Look, we're literally just had 10th edition, which was another reset, and we're just having Age of Sigmar, which is getting its first reset. So companies do this, but they failed to do this, and they decided to kill it rather than support it. And there's probably a lot of reasons into that. They probably realized that the money working with computer games and bringing computer games to the board game sphere is probably more lucrative for them. It probably is, and they didn't have any time. But those seem to be drying up, and they have to now sort of go back into the miniatures wargaming sphere, and they've acquired Warmachine. So it's going to be milked to death. Like I said, if you're a God tier player, I feel sorry for you, man. Really do. Because that game is getting zero support. And if it does, it'll be the odd hero there and there. And this is the why everyone laughs and jokes when God tier is ever mentioned, because it's like the forgotten stepchild in the corner that Steamforged don't really want to talk about and kind of don't really want to do anything with. And Guild Ball is just a mess right now. Like, unless you're a 3D printer, unless you've got 3D printing, you can get into it. Other than that, there's no point. And you'll never see this on the shelf. Which is really weird from a company that does Kickstarters and can deliver product onto a shop shelf. But for Guild Ball, they seem really reluctant to do it. And anytime anyone asks them why, they instantly go, oh, we're trying to build up trust. We're taking baby steps to build that trust with the community. No. If they actually were genuine about actually supporting the game, they would have come out all guns blazing with a big-ass Kickstarter, all bells and whistles, big lamps flashing, and going, hey guys, look at this. This is us coming back with Guild Ball. Here we go. But they didn't. And that says a lot. That says a lot. So I'm fully expecting this to fail spectacularly in a few years' time after they've milked the player base for all it's worth. I'm not expecting this to be any form of any shelf space on shop floors or even at your local gaming clubs, unless it's already got an existing community of Warmachine players at your club. Don't expect any new things popping up because it's just not going to happen. So yeah, great that Privateer Press is kind of getting to stay around with Warmachine, kind of. Bad that Steamforged are the ones that are coming in to save the game. But that's the video, everyone. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, share, and subscribe and all that stuff. Check out my members and Patreon areas, and yeah, keep on liking. And remember, if I hit 3,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away a little miniature. So keep an eye out for that little video very, very shortly. And yeah, rest in peace, Warmachine. Rest in peace.